Hi guys, this is the second part of our review of the Aztec learning system, which is a software a software app for learning interdisciplinary material. So this second part video, which is we left off at the literature section. So we're gonna make more videos in the future to cover all the notes that I took. Okay, so literature. Literature is to save and to share stories, to explain the world, and to record our histories. Through different cultures and different times, we've told stories to strengthen bonds, to share news, teach lessons, explain the world, and make life more interesting. So, when reading literature, practice close reading. Interpret symbolic language. So, do something which is called literary analysis. And the reason is reading can teach us more about the world. To learn the most out of our reading, we have to look closely and think about what the words tell us. This type of detective work is called close reading, carefully reading the material, looking for vocabulary, which is meanings of words, looking for literary elements of text and literary techniques used by the writer. At a second reading, you should underline phrases or sentences that you do not understand. Close reading is careful interpretation. This gives us a deeper understanding of what we read. And annotation means adding notes to a text so that you can remember your thoughts and better understand what you have read, as well as your writer's word choices and message. So remember your thoughts and better understand is the reason for annotating. Literary elements are a part of every work of fiction. Literary techniques are ways authors use words to add interest and impact to their stories and writing. So literary elements include the following: plot, what happens in the story, the events; setting, where the story takes place; point of view, who's telling the story; character, who's doing what in the story;
Like a narrator, right?
Conflict, the problem in the story, and the theme what the story is about; and the diction, which words the author uses; the mood, which is the feeling the story gives you. Mood is a literary element found in all works of literature. How the words create an atmosphere or feeling in piece of literature, or how the reader feels while reading. So these literary techniques are ways authors use words to add interest and impact to their stories and writing. So again, they were plot, what happens; setting, where it happens; point of view, who's telling the story; character, who's doing what; conflict, the problem; theme, what the story is about; and diction, the words the writer uses; and the mood, the feeling you get when you read. As well, imagery, which is the author using words and phrases to create mental images for the reader, which creates clear, vivid pictures or thoughts in your mind. That was imagery. And metaphor, the author compares two things by saying that one thing is another thing, like for example, saying he was a wall against all danger. So the person is a wall, and that is a metaphor. So metaphor is saying one thing is another thing. Not like another thing, but it is the other thing. Okay, so close reading. Summary of close reading was looking up new words, looking at literary elements such as mood, diction, the words which are chosen, and the characters. You look at literary techniques such as imagery and metaphors as well. You look at also the context or history of the author or the poem. So, in summary, close reading helps to look at a text more carefully, understanding meaning of the text better, to form your own opinions based on what you have read. So, all of the previous was about fiction, and now we're at the nonfiction text section. So, in nonfiction, you have to know when you're reading a nonfiction text, you can identify that the nonfiction text is written for a specific audience. So you question the author's purpose for writing a text. So you have to use text features to help you understand what you have read. Identify a variety of ways to organize information. So text features are visual clues that help you understand the nonfiction writing. These include captions, headings, subheadings, labels, also glossary, table of contents, index, specialized print such as italicized, bold, underline, illustrations, photographs, charts, graphs, tables. So you always have to read the title. You read the first and last paragraph of title or text. Read headings and subheadings. Skim the text looking for words in bold or italic print. Study illustrations and photographs. Read captions and labels. So the purpose of a nonfiction text is meant to persuade or to argue or inform or to advise or sell even. So text structure means you have a structure or a frame. And there are 5 common text structures used to build text. Pick the one that best suits the audience and your purpose for writing. 1 is problem and solution. You introduce a problem, then discuss how the problem should be fixed or could be fixed. A single solution might be offered, or there might be several different solutions. A problem is also a difficulty, a struggle, trouble, dispute, challenge, threat. And a solution is the possibility, hope, answer, a fix, a solution. Did I say that? Or a resolution. Excuse me. Okay, number 2 is, so number 1 was problem and solution. 2 is description. Showing what an item or place is like by giving it characteristics, attributes, or properties. Descriptive texts will use lots of adjectives or adverbs and words like to begin with, for example, to illustrate characteristics. Number 3 is a time order or sequence. So 2 is description. Time order is used in historical texts, biographies, news reports about events, stories about the future. So time order uses words like on, a date, at a time, years ago, or time periods. So that's time order or sequence. Also, in this category is sequential order, which is used in directions, instructions, recipes, experiments to explain processes in nature and society, lists the steps in a process or event like first, second, third, last, sequence, or use words like both, before, during, next, then, etc., while, after, until, and finally. Number 4 is compare and contrast, explaining how 2 topics, objects, ideas are the same and how different they differ. The author can give details of one topic and then give details of a second topic, or alternate back and forth between 2 topics. I'm going to take a pause here and we'll continue in the next video. Thank you. Facebook.com Yosallplay. YOSALLPLAY.